Welcome to the all-new Sports Visions on Bounce TV and to our worldwide web viewers on www.sportsvisionsusa.com. Hello, everybody. I'm DJ Jones, joined by my good friend and traveling partner, Dale Williams. How are you, sir?
What's up, player?
Hey, man, it's time. It's time. And you know what? This is a special time because over 30 years ago, Dale, you and I had an opportunity to play for a national championship, several national championships, but this is the new era, the college football playoff era.
The college football playoff era, DJ, and really a lot of things have changed, DJ, but at the same time, everything is at stake. This is what you go to college for, to win a national championship.
Coming up in just a little bit, we'll have an opportunity to recap the Alabama-Washington college football playoff game, as well as some of the other bowl games of interest. We'll also have an opportunity to give you the Hawks report and the Falcons report. All of that next on Sports Visions.
It's time to save during the Nissan Year of the Truck and SUV event at Headquarter Nissan. Now, save $4,500 on new Rogue. Save $10,000 on all remaining 2016 Nissan Titan XDs. And get America's best truck warranty. Take on any job with Nissan trucks and SUVs from Headquarter Nissan.
Yes, Columbus is a Nissan town. Now it's going to be a Titan town. $10,000 off 2016 Titans.
Welcome back to Sports Visions, Dale. I tell you what, the bowl season has come and gone. We're right here on the eve, almost the eve of the national championship game. It seems like just a few short weeks ago we were kicking this thing off and we were all excited, but now with the snap of a finger, everything is all said and done.
All said and done, DJ, and some great bowl games, you know, traditional and here regionally around. Some great bowl games, DJ.
Absolutely. Let's just start off right here. Of course, the Auburn Tigers laid an egg down in New Orleans. I know
right.
that, that quarterback situation was a problem going in. But, again, you know what? At the start of the season, Auburn didn't have a quarterback. And guess what? In New Orleans, they didn't have a quarterback either.
Well, you know, they started the season like they ended the season, you know, without a quarterback. And really that quarterback piece is going to have to go away, DJ, or they're going to have some problems in 2017 and 2018 also.
Speaking of starting like they finished, the University of Georgia, although they came out and pulled it out of their bowl game, you know what? Early on, again, that was a situation where they, couldn't get any success in the run game. And, of course, the quarterback was a little erratic and didn't have any chemistry with the receivers. Seemed that way for much of the bowl game against
TCU.
TCU.
Well, you know, DJ, I looked at that game really, you know, as a developing piece for as Georgia's concerned. You know, the good thing about it, they're going to be able to run the ball next year. And thank God that Nick Chubb and Sony Michel will be back next year. You know, I see that Isaiah McKenzie, he decided he's not going to be back next year. But I think really one of the good things and what I liked about it is that Kirby is recruiting some big-time offensive linemen, and I think they're going to be able to run the ball a little bit. I think if they can recruit us offensive coordinator, DJ, they might be tough next year.
I'm hoping that's on the menu as far as what's to come. Last but not least, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets was able to beat up on Kentucky, an SEC foe. And again, now Paul Johnson, you can say what you want to Tech fans, but this guy still finds a way to get it done. I
mean, DJ, it works. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And you know, Paul Johnson has been right there. You know, they're gonna run the option. They're gonna continue to run the option, DJ. Really, they still have a lot of explosiveness. They got athletes everywhere. They got players doing a lot of transferring, but at the same time, DJ, they've been stacking some players up there at Georgia Tech. So really, their 2017 season is going to be very interesting. And really, one thing that we always say about bowl games, DJ, it gives the younger players opportunity to develop.
Absolutely. And, of course, speaking of bowl games, we had the pleasure of being in the Dome, as you saw in the opening segment, for the Alabama-Washington game. Dale, the atmosphere right off the bat, we knew that with Washington having so far to come that it wouldn't be the same magic atmosphere would it have been for somebody a little closer.
Well, you know, really, DJ, I was really stunned by the attendance, a record attendance crowd of like 79.5. That is a full-time record at the Georgia Dome. The last time a bowl game would be played in the Georgia Dome. But one thing that I do know, probably that 900 and some, DJ, that probably was the Washington fan, because really this is an extended home field advantage for the Alabama Crimson Tide over the last 3-4 years.
And believe it or not, we were in somewhat of shock because, again, coming out, either Alabama was very vanilla or either Washington was as good as advertised, because, you know what, in the first couple of quarters there, it was just, I was really sitting there wondering and puzzled. We were looking at each other like, what's going on? Because we saw Washington get off the bus.
That's right.
And when they got off the bus at the Dome, they walked in their street clothes, and they didn't look too much bigger than a lot of high school football teams.
Well, you know, DJ, I told you before the guys that DJ, they left some meat on the bus player, and I just don't see them standing up against Alabama, but they played better than advertised, DJ. I think really one of the biggest things that I was surprised by is that their defense really they played a good defense. They had opportunities to get some turnovers early on in the game, but that didn't happen. And then, boom, before you know it, Alabama gets a pick six, a non-offensive touchdown again. But, DJ, you know, when we were thinking about that play calling situation, we were saying, you know, we gave Lane Kiffin a little I guess a
pass.
A pass on, you know, the play calling. Like, well, maybe you don't want to show Ohio State or Clemson anything new, but really the story after the game was like, okay,
yeah.
I see, you know, Lane got to go.
Bo Scarborough, of course, took up the slack again, 180 yards, man, just an outstanding day. He looked like a Derrick Henry without the number 2 on his chest. But you know, he was the story again. And you know, like you mentioned, Kiffin has been let go or dismissed or walked out or whatever you want to put it, but he will not be with the University of Alabama in the championship game on Monday night down in Tampa.
Well, you know, DJ, you know, that's a story in itself. I wish we had time to, you know, go off camera and talk about this how we really want to. But really, DJ, you know, as we lead up into the championship game against Clemson, that Bo Scarborough piece is going to be big. And one thing about Bo Scarborough, and you look back at all the key games this year that Alabama has played, DJ, that number 9, when number 9 comes in the game, Alabama's getting ready to grind. They're going to stick to the running game, and really with this situation now, I think they're going to do the same thing. They're going to stick with Bo Scarborough and let him run the ball. But at the same time, if I'm Clemson, DJ, hey, man, I'm not going to let 9 beat me.
You're right. And, again, I think I'm going to take the other side of that perspective when you talk about the defense. Now, Alabama's defense last year was stout. This year, they talk about it's the best ever, but I think the difference in last year and this year, when you talk about Deshaun Watson and what he was able to do last year, Alabama's defense is much slimmer, much quicker, much faster. So that means that, again, Deshaun Watson still, as elusive as he is, he's going to have just that bit more of a challenge because they're not as bulky and they probably not as slow as they were last year. But it's going to be very interesting because he's certainly one of the most dynamic players in America. A lot of people think he's the best player in college football. And Clemson and Dabo Swinney, they have Alabama's number. They want some revenge.
They want some revenge, DJ. And one thing about Clemson, DJ, they're not intimidated by Alabama. And they've been working this hard to get back in a rematch game. I think they're there. But I think really as we do in big-time games, we compare the quarterbacks. One thing, the only bad thing about Deshaun Watson, if you could say anything bad about him, is that he throws a lot of turnovers. He gives up the ball, interceptions. He's going to do that. And guess what? Alabama does good. I still say they got the best secondary in college football, but at the same time, the Jalen Hurts piece, not having that security blanket, not having a confident play caller at the time, I think that's going to be a big difference, DJ. But at the same time, it's going to be a close game.
It is indeed, and you know, you talk about the poise and the professionalism and the culture and all the great things when you talk about Nick Saban. And this is so unlike Nick Saban. This is so like anything that he's ever done in his championship runs is to get rid of an offensive coordinator or coordinator, period, right before the game. He's gone through this with of course, just last year with Kirby Smart and, you know, and from what I understand, some others in past years. But for whatever reason, you know, is 1 week away – and you let a guy go. You basically fire a guy. It has to be some tension there.
There's some tension there, DJ. But you said it, man. Really, you know, Kirby Smart, Nick, father-son relationship. Lane Kiffin, they can say what they want, but that Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban situation, it's been ongoing on and on and on. And I think really, you know, when from getting left behind on the bus, going to the stadium, to, you know, the things that have gone on this week, not having fun, being the offense coordinator at Alabama, that Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban piece is toxic, DJ. And I'm kind of surprised at Nick. It's like, why you didn't nip this in the bud? No, but now you leave your kids in 1 week. We got to prepare. Yeah, Sarkisian is known for being a great offensive coordinator, DJ. But at the same time, being at the game speed and you know, Lane could call some plays. But at the same time, now you got a freshman quarterback that doesn't have the comfort. We're going to see how poised Jalen Hurts really is, because I think that piece right there, the quarterback piece, is going to be determined who's going to win the game.
And another thing that's going to determine, as far as I'm concerned, it's not going to be like being in Atlanta when it's they're almost their home field.
That's right.
Down in Tampa, of course, Clemson is right here, just as close as Tuscaloosa is to Tampa. You know what? The stadium will probably be split right down the middle. And, of course, there's going to be a loud place to play.
Loud place, DJ. And one thing, I've said this over and over again, one thing that I think Alabama's success comes from is that they intimidate people. The other teams are really afraid of Alabama. But there's one thing about the Clemson Tigers. They ain't scared. They're not scared. They've been looking forward to this opportunity. It's going to be an interesting game. Yeah, Deshaun Watson throws a lot of interceptions, DJ, but he might turn around and throw 3 or 4 touchdowns. Well, Alabama has a great secondary. Yeah, they might get 1 pick six. But it's going to take a special team effort like they did last year. That was the only reason Alabama won last year. But I don't see them scoring no 40 points this year, DJ. I think it's going to be an offensive game, but it's going to be a close game.
All right, folks, the heavyweight championship, national championship rematch, Alabama-Clemson, Monday night, 8:30 on ESPN.
When I decided to write a ton of world-famous music after I'd lost my hearing, people thought I was crazy. Just like the other day when I wanted chicken for breakfast. People thought I was crazy again. How'd everything play out? Let me tell you about it. I'll bet you $10 that you have heard the tune I'm singing now, because I went on to be the best composer of all time. Then I went down to Chick-fil-A and ordered their brand new egg white grill. The whole thing was 300 calories and seriously the best thing I've ever had. So to recap, I'm the best composer ever in the entire world. And Chick-fil-A's new egg white grill is really, 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 really good.
Chicken for breakfast. It's not as crazy as you'd think. Try the new egg white grill from Chick-fil-A.
Welcome back to Sports Visions. It's now time for our Atlanta Falcons report. And again, you know what? I've been sounding like a robot week after week after week. The Falcons have not let us down, Dale. They have clinched the NFC South Division title, and they will be, of course, having a first-round bye, and they'll have an opportunity to play a home playoff game.
That's right. They have a bye. Number 2 seed in the whole NFL playoffs. I mean, really, I think that's big on their part. But at the same time, the way they ended the season against the Saints, I got kind of nervous there at the end, DJ, because really, one of the things that they do, they get a big lead and they take the foot off the gas. The defense start playing prevent defense, but they got to correct that. But I wish they could play their way through, like I said a couple of weeks ago, through the playoff. But since they got the bye, they really can. Got some guys that need to heal from some injuries, and I think really they need that more so than anything. But at the same time, DJ, they get some rest.
Big shout out to Matt Ryan. I tell you what, Matty Ice, I tell you, man, he's just basically turned everybody around, because last year about this time, boy, everybody wanted to send him out with the bathwater, man, again. But, you got Alex Mack on that line that basically secured him, and, of course, got a couple other players that kept him clean for the most part. He had an opportunity to throw with some confidence in that pocket, step up, and he had some outstanding receivers in addition to Julio Jones, some of the younger guys that stepped up in a big way. And then he had that two-headed monster in the backfield that folks would just lick their chops to have an opportunity to have a Tevin Campbell and a Devontae Freeman, two backs that probably could make anybody's team, anybody's offense one of the most productive in the league. But just wholeheartedly, man, again, and don't leave out the defense, because you got the names on the offensive side, but you did get to play on the defensive side. And thanks to Vic Beasley, led the league in sacks, 15.5 sacks after supposedly I guess what they say, a bust season.
Yeah.
I guess that's a little strong, but coming off of a rookie season to lead the league in sacks, Dale, that's pretty impressive.
That's very impressive, DJ. But really, Falcons got 6 guys on the All-Pro team, DJ. That's impressive enough in a sense. But one of the other most impressive things happened the Saints game, DJ, was that the first 5 possessions, they went down the field and scored touchdowns. That is huge in this league. Yeah, everybody's saying, Shanahan might even get him a head coaching job, but he's done a great job. Hats off to him, and we kind of lit him up last year also. But he has done a great job with the Atlanta Falcons offense. That's the best thing they got going right now. But at the same time, DJ, they got to get a little bit more aggressive on defense, because they're real aggressive on offense. I mean, even when they got leads, 2 touchdown, 3 touchdown leads, they still throwing the ball around. They're still aggressive on offense. They got to become much more aggressive on defense in this playoff run.
I know you've been pretty much hitting on that every week, but I think the identity of that defense, it is what it is. And again, until those young players have an opportunity to mature and grow, this is the first year. And again, when you know how it was when you were playing and you weren't certainly absolutely sure about your responsibilities. And next year, I assume that they will take that aggressive attitude, that aggressive nature that you're talking about now. But for the most part, I think Matty Ice and that offense is going to bail them out because, you know what, they average 34 points a game and more than anybody in the league. And, again, it's just, it's just going to be an offensive if the Falcons win it, it's going to be with offensive production.
That's right. And really, I compliment that. I mean, they're 1 and 2 in offense. Every offensive category, they're either number 1 or number 2. And they've the highest scoring offense in the whole NFL, and that's a lot of teams. So really, hats off to them. Offensively, they definitely need points to score, to play and open. Their first home game will be at the Georgia Dome, which is good. They get a good start, but whoever they get the Packers or the New York Giants, that's going to be a concern also.
It is going to be a concern. Again, the Dallas Cowboys have clinched home field all the way throughout the playoffs as far as the NFC as far as the AFC is concerned. The New England Patriots, they've clinched home field advantage. It's going to be very interesting how this thing plays out, especially because the Falcons are still in it. And again, I'm so glad that they had an opportunity to get everybody excited because, again, early on, we were worried about what they were going to do with that stadium next door.
That's right. That was big, and really to be able to go in with all the hoopla this year, and really they have a serious chance, DJ, to make the Super Bowl. Quiet as it's kept. I hear the Dallas people talking. I hear the Falcons fans talking. I hear the Seahawks talking. Really, they have a good chance, DJ, of doing something real big for the city of Atlanta.
All right, take a look at our Crown Royal Picks of the Week.
All right, our Crown Royal Picks of the Week, we got the Raiders will be playing the Texans. The Lions will be playing the Seahawks. And on Sunday, the Miami Dolphins will be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers up at Three Rivers Stadium. And the Giants will be playing the Packers. Don't forget to email Dale Williams all your picks at DaleWilliams@SportsVisionUSA.com.
Dedicado al chofer designado, sigue reinando.
Hey, Steve, check out this guy's leg.
Yeah, looks like a real nasty moving back in with his parents.
What? No, I just broke my leg.
No, this is a full-blown move into the basement. You're gonna be out of work. Without that money from Aflac, you might miss your rent.
Oh, I just moved out.
Bummer, man. Hey, I used to have my own place.
Yeah?
Nah, I live with my mom. But it's cool.
Health can change, but the life you love doesn't have to. Keep your lifestyle healthy with
Aflac!
Why do we have Aflac?
Aflac!
And Major Medical?
Major Medical, boy, yeah!
I help pay the doctor. Ain't that enough for you?
There are things Major Medical doesn't do.
Aflac!
Pays cash so we don't have to fret.
Something families should get.
Like a safety net.
Even helps pay deductibles to cover your back with.
Learn about one-day pay at Aflac.com/wrap.
Welcome back to Sports Vision. Dale, I'll tell you, when you come to games like this, you have an opportunity to not only see people you hadn't seen in a long time, but you get to see some of the stars, some of the elite in the game. And, of course, you and I were tickled to death to have an opportunity to talk to athletic director for the University of Alabama, Coach Bill Battle.
That's been big, man. Really growing up in that era of the Bear Bryant and the Bill Battle. Bill Battle is sports marketing what it is today, DJ. From the licensing piece on, he had a vision of sports marketing as it is today, and it was a joy to talk to him, man, for the length of time that we had with him.
So much wisdom, and I think we had an opportunity to talk to him about 20 or 30 minutes right here on the field, man. But just to talk to him and you ask some questions and I asked some questions about, yesteryear versus today, and he was real analytical and real politically correct in talking about it. I mean, because I was looking for him, to beat up the kids, because we were saying, what's the difference between the kids then and now? And he was very, very politically correct.
That's right.
Versus when we were saying, hey, look, it was no nonsense back in our day. We didn't have all the things. We didn't have the elite status. We didn't feel entitled. But today, they have that. But they're still making it work at Alabama.
They're still making it work, DJ. And one good thing just from talking to them, one thing that they have as a common denominator over at Alabama, they want good people. Whether you're teaching, professor, special instructor, coaches, they just want good people, DJ. They don't want to know how good you are. They just want to know you're a good person. But to have Bill Battle to follow up Mal Moore, that regime in itself was big. But to have a guy that played against and coached against Bear Bryant over at Alabama right now is huge. But one of the biggest things about it, DJ, the guy that has some vision. And really, the vision piece, the TV piece, the radio, the whole marketing. This guy had it back in the 70s, DJ.
I'm going to change gears a little bit and talk about, people out there often wonder, how does Nick Saban have so much success in this program, and how do they continue to get the great players to come to the University of Alabama? But I'm just going to mention a couple of good people that I know, that I played with. One in particular that we both know, Jeremiah Castile, right there from Phoenix City, right there on the other side of Columbus, Georgia, on the other side of the Chattahoochee River, out of Central High School. One of our own, former teammate in high school, well respected. In college, an All-America, one of Bear Bryant's favorite players. And even in professional ball, I had the opportunity to play with them in Denver. Cat was a pro's pro. All the players in the locker room, when they had issues and problems, no matter how old they were, you would see them counseling with Jeremiah Castile. And now he's the actual team chaplain for the football team.
Well, really, DJ, he's still in his craft. He's just still working in his vision and in his gift. I mean, really, always have something motivational to speak about, inspirational to speak about. Yes, he went through a lot of things, but at the same time, DJ, again, that common denominator, he's a good person. He was a hell of a football player, but most of all, he was a good person, and you have to have that pedigree to be over at Alabama right now.
Another name as far as good people in your organization from top to bottom, Terry Jones, a former teammate of mine at Green Bay back in the days, man. For 28 years, he's been a part of the strength and conditioning staff here at the University of Alabama. And what does that mean? No, it's more than just, helping a guy spot a guy or helping him or counting his reps. This is about pulling guys to the side in a fashion that nobody else could, because this guy has played the game at every level, and he's been around the system. He's a part of the Alabama culture, and he's right now a part of the fabric that's the success that continues to succeed here at Alabama.
Well, another good thing, DJ, and Nick Saban, I had to tip his hat off to him, and I think really he learned this from his experiences in the pro. You got to have player development, DJ, and I think he has smothered all his players around with people that can develop their progress on and off the field. And when you got somebody thinking of just developing their kids, yeah, it's easy for them to go when Alabama is winning national championship after national championship, but at the same time, he is developing these guys from the Brian Voglers on to, even with Castile and all his boys. He has a great job, and he does a great job with his coaches doing player development.
Now, we're at this college football playoff game. Now, the winner, of course, between Alabama and Washington will go to the national championship game that'll be played down in Tampa. However, you and I both, and I'd be remiss if I didn't share with those folks out there, over 35 years ago, you and I were part of a national championship team at the University of Georgia under Vince Dooley. How do you compare this atmosphere to the atmosphere that we played in back then?
Well, DJ, I'm kind of sensitive toward that, but I think really, man, when we were young, 19, 20 years old, in New Orleans, national championship, knowing that we're going to be on the national television, only game that's going to be on a New Year's Day, man, it was big. This is not comparable to that to me, because TV now is so diluted. There's so many games that are going on. When you don't have the only game that's going to be on, and everybody in town, everybody in the barbershop, everybody in the whole area want to be watching that game, that's what makes it more personal with me. And really, but this crowd is going to turn up, DJ. Alabama, this is just another home game for Alabama being up here so much. It's the SEC championship. It's going to be an interesting game, though.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, Steve, check out this guy's leg.
Yeah, looks like a real nasty moving back in with his parents.
What? No, I just broke my leg.
No, this is a full-blown move into the basement. You're going to be out of work. Without that money from Aflac, you might miss your rent.
Oh, I just moved out.
Bummer, man. Hey, I used to have my own place.
Yeah?
Nah, I live with my mom. But it's cool.
Health can change, but the life you love doesn't have to. Keep your lifestyle healthy with
Aflac.
welcome back to today's final segment of Sports Vision. I tell you, Dale, we had a heck of an opportunity to close out 16, of course, to start out 17 with some great football. Of course, even going back to the Celebration Bowl, the Black College National Championship with Grambling overtaking North Carolina Central. And again, a couple of playoff games for the Falcons to set them up for, of course, what's to come. And again, even the college football playoff game with Alabama beating up on Washington. So we've really finished the season great and started it out great.
Okay, play. We've been running, man. Left and right from that weekend on to after Thanksgiving on, we've been running. Like I said, this is our second win. The national championship game, the NFL playoff game, the Senior Bowl, Super Bowl, everything's lined up, DJ. Let's go, player.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it again, though. The big game on Monday night. I know you got a couple of more days to get your party ready, and I know that, if you do have it, send us an email or send us a shout-out or via Facebook or something. Let us know what you're doing. We just might show up at your party.
That's right, man. That would be big, player. That would be real big. I tell you, we'll bring something that you like.
Absolutely. And also, Dale, as we close out the thing, we didn't talk a whole lot about the Atlanta Hawks. However, they're still in second place in that South Division of the NBA of the Eastern Conference. Charlotte has played themselves into the first place, but the Hawks have only been 1 or 2 games out, and since the beginning, even maybe a couple of weeks ago when they've been up and down, but they've had some impressive wins. They beat the San Antonio Spurs. They beat the Knicks at home last week. So I feel good that they are playing themselves back into the team that we want them to be.
That's right, really, and they playing better defense, DJ, and they, coming off the road trip, they did very good on the road trip, for us beating San Diego, beating OKC, beating some very good teams, playoff-laden teams. So, really, they're going to be all right.
Absolutely. And again, with everything going on, man, I tell you what, the high school basketball season is underway. Had the pleasure of course, announcing the William Henry Shaw Christmas Tournament. Congratulations goes out to, of course, Carolyn Wright with the Central Lady Red Devils. They beat the Marion County Lady Eagles in the Christmas tournament action. And as far as the boys were concerned, Warren Beulah and the George Washington Carver Tigers beat up Coach Bobby Wright and the Central Red Devils.
Really, man, that thing is getting the Christmas tournament is spreading out across the Chattahoochee Valley. Something that non-traditional but good for basketball here in this league.
Last but not least, a living legend, Dale, is going into the High School Baseball Hall of Fame. Bobby Howard has been recently named and selected to go in one of the most prestigious Hall of Fames as far as high school coaches are concerned, and we just got that information on Thursday. But congratulations to Coach Bobby Howard, over 900 wins and 12 state titles.
Wow, that's big, man. The number speaks for itself.
All right, well, that's going to do it for all the time we have for today's show. For Dale Williams, I'm DJ Jones, reminding you to keep your eye on the ball. Have a great week.
Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you.